This is a conversation about the ending of our marriage.
We're committed to real conversation, raw, unedited. We pick a topic, and I don't know what he's going to say, and he doesn't know what I'm going to say, because our life has two perspectives, and we're just going to kind of go for it. That's why we're doing this. I think we're both storytellers at heart, and we're ready for some of these conversations to be shared, and hope to stimulate more with each other and with others.
Our conversation goes like this. I'm going to start by saying that the marriage that we had, which is now over, was unhealthy. It was rooted in both ideals that we had been taught and personal flaws. Our marriage, while it could have looked great on the outside and at times had great moments, needed to end. And 7 years in, we experienced a time of separation, stayed together, but 3 to 4 years ago, the proceedings began to evaluate, and it was found lacking. And that had a majority to do about how I understood what men and what a man was supposed to be.
I personally think that our marriage never actually started. I feel like it was ended from the beginning. We just kept trying based on the things you were saying, the ideals, the cultural things that were put on us, expectations. But honestly, I think it was over a very long time ago. Around year 7, maybe year 6, we separated for a while. That shifted some things, permanently shifted some things, but not enough.
That's right.
For me personally, I knew that it was the beginning of the end at our 16th anniversary. At our 16th anniversary, when we were going out to dinner that you had made last minute, you had really never ever celebrated. We'd never celebrated our anniversary ever.
That's right.
And it was a BYOB, and I had asked you to pick up some wine, and you didn't. You were really flippant, and I just couldn't go. And we ended up at the dock.
And you asked some questions, and my answers indicated that the relationship was never given the effort or the desire that it ever needed to.
Do you remember what those questions were?
The questions that you asked, one of them was, are you ever going to choose this? Or why have you not chosen this?
Okay, you had said that you didn't actually choose it, it just happened.
Oof.
And so I asked you if you would ever choose it. And you told me that you needed some time to think about it.
Yeah. That's the wrong answer.
Wow, it was the honest answer. I don't think it was wrong. I think it was just what it was.
And you're saying that was the beginning of the end, or when you knew?
I actually knew that night that it was over. I mean, we tried to push through for another, 2.5 years?
That is correct.
3.5 years. In that time, we had almost 2 years of a separation.
We separated in every way.
Except for home.
Yeah, we did. You know, we lived in the same home.
And that was a financially motivated move, but it was also a belief motivated move that we didn't want to disrupt the lives of our children if we did not need to. And we were not fighting, we were not actively fighting, there was no abuse happening. And so we had the ability to know that we could give them a peaceful environment and we could do the work that we needed to do while still being in the same home. It was a decision that we made with a therapist and had contract and
agreements. Yes,
and
that's
then we
right.
had scheduled times with the therapist that we were held accountable weekly to that plan and how things were going. But for me, it wasn't hard. Was it hard for you? We can talk about it.
It was hard. However, what I had told the therapist when she asked me, "Are you ever going to pursue or choose?" I had said, "Probably not." In that room as well.
Right, but let's back up. So the thing happened on the docket, 16 years. And 6 weeks later, I asked you if you were going to let me know what your decision was. And do you remember what you said?
I'm working on it.
Nope. You said, I'm still here. Isn't that enough of an answer?
This is a conversation on the ending of our marriage. Indeed.
So then fast forward 2 years later, therapist, formal separation, contract. She asks you, will you ever choose this marriage? Will you ever choose? And what did you say?
Probably not. I said no.
You did.
I said I am going to exist as I can. Path of least resistance, that's my nature. That is exactly what I said.
I'm sure these conversations will get into more of that nitty gritty of that separation. I imagine that will happen. But the true ending happened in June of 2019. You said it was Father's Day. I don't remember that it was Father's Day, but I don't remember much from that weekend.
I remember you sobbing on the bed most of the day.
Most of the weekend.
Yes.
Started Friday night at like 11. And I don't think it stopped until Sunday afternoon at 3.
That's correct. That's the weekend.
And I'm not a crier. I'm not sentimental. But I just knew that I knew that I knew when it was done. I think I cried for lost dreams and everything that we weren't and everything that we would never be.
You were crying too because it was a choice.
It was. I was choosing health. I knew that if I was going to continue in my journey of inner peace and inner health, that there needed to be an end.
And so an end it was. Here we are at the same table. There were further final moments since June.
Because I think since our marriage ended, correct me if I'm wrong, but since our marriage ended, the expectations dropped away. The cultural standards ceased to create a prison for you. And I think you were able to embrace yourself in a way that you never, ever had before. as a human, as a man. And I was able to say, this is me. This is my space. Like, we're not engaging in trauma cycle. Like, we weren't engaging in that crazy cycle anymore. It was you being you, me being me, both of us with expectations on ourselves towards health, and it looked different and felt different.
I'm going to agree with you completely, and I'll put it in my words. We went from a marriage to a real-time contract born out of choice, not contract on a piece of paper. I'm saying a connection, a heart-to-heart connection that says, I am here because I want to be, and I am going to operate in a way that shows that I want and need this relationship. And here's what happened. As a man, making that agreement with you removed all the tropes and fallbacks that I used to fall on, and saying, oh, I'm a guy, I don't do that. Or, oh, this is what the religion I was brought up in has said is the male part of the relationship. Instantly,
fucking patriarchy.
That's correct. Fuck the patriarchy.
Fuck it.
And instantly, all the responsibility that I had shirked, I was able to step into because I needed it. I needed the accountability. I needed the freedom to be me. And instead of saying, I'm a guy who has to function this way, instead I said, I'm a human being who is doing this because I want to.
I think we'll look back with clear eyes, maybe, on why it took an ending of a marriage for you to find yourself. Why it took it coming to a complete end. And I don't think we can answer that now.
No, in fact, that's one of the reasons we're doing this, to explore that. I need to know, and I need to answer it within my own, with myself, to answer with me and say, here's why.
So, while it maybe seems complicated looking in, this is the most simple I feel our interactions have ever been, ever. Like, you're a human, I'm a human, we're coexisting. Period.
One of the things that fell away was deception and honesty. You're saying that because we've agreed to honesty.
Yeah, it's funny because we would have said that we were honest before.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head here and nodding at the same time. Yeah. This is where we are. And this is not a static. When I say this is where we are, I mean this is where we are treading. This is where we are exploring. This is where we are headed. This is our path.